Hello there, welcome. It's BOBCAST. It's Monday night. Gosh, it's amazing how the nights are flying along, isn't it? And it's the 22nd, of course, night after the 21st. And yesterday, oh, by the way, this is BOBCAST number 92. 9 and 2, 92. And yesterday I said it was the longest day. Of course, no, I didn't know. I haven't given it any thought whatsoever, but it was a leap year, or it is a leap year. So, of course, the longest day was the day before. So I wondered why there was lots of solstice stuff going on, and I was thinking it was Sunday, and oh dear, it's since records began, really. Oh, talking of records, what sort of vinyl do you like? I asked my dad years ago why he kept buying vinyl. He said it's always a sound purchase. Well, yeah, and he was 78 when he died. He'd been going around. He'd been going around with my wife for over 33 years, and they'd had a bit of an interesting time in 45. But they remember when they were 16, and not many people remember that. Now, and if you're wondering what on earth I'm talking about, I am, of course, talking about the speeds on the old record players. Remember those 78, and they were really fast. They spun round. And then 33, long player, that's what most LPs played at. Gosh, I remember I was helping a friend of mine move house, and I dropped a huge box of vinyl down a flight of stairs. The distance they fell was record breaking. Thank you for those jokes, which came in one of my Father's Day cards. Absolutely brilliant. I enjoyed those. But records are fascinating things, aren't they? Because, of course, they're coming back now. And I was listening to local radio recently, and they were playing lots of stuff on vinyl. But I've also been watching a bit of Billy Connolly, and he's very rude and very funny. My favourite Billy Connolly joke was, I met a man who was a farmer. I knew he was a farmer because he had a dent in his leg where his dog walked. And that's always been my fun. I was thinking Billy Connolly was like me. He's funnier when he's not being rude. I don't find that very easy, not to be rude. By the way, why did the chicken go to the gym, talking of farmers? To work on his pecs. Don't like chickens. Well, I like them on a plate. Oh, a bit of bread sauce and some red currant jelly. Not red currant jelly, that's that other type of jelly. And I like chicken, I like roast chicken. Anyhow, back to records. So when I was a lad, we used to listen to Billy Connolly on records, on LPs. And we would sit around on a Saturday night when we came back from the pub and having a Chinese meal, which we quite often did. And of course, in those days in Glasgow, the pub shut at 10. So if you're like me and a regular at the Titwood or the Fotheringay on the south side, then 10 o'clock it finished, you all piled out the pub, went for a Chinese or a bag of chips, and then usually back to someone's house. And part of the treat was to listen to Billy Connolly LPs. If it wasn't for your wellies, where would you be? You'd be in the hospital or infirmary, 'cause you would have a dose of the flu or even pleurisy. Didn't have your feet in your wellies. Remember those? If you haven't sung that for a bit, Google the Welly Boot song. Billy Connolly. Now, wellies, they are wonderful, and wellies, they are swell, 'cause they keep out the water and they keep in the smell. And when you're sitting in a room, you can always tell when some person takes off his wellies. And so it goes on. So we used to sit listening to all these LPs, and they were so funny. And you'd listen to them again and again and again and again, and you just about wear them out. Playing on a dance set or a music gram or whatever it happened to be. By the way, I just got home today. It's unbelievable. And I found a very pretty woman grouting the bathroom wall and singing, "It's a heartache, nothing but a fool's game." I thought to myself, oh, she's a Bonnie Tyler. So, yes, okay, thank you. But people will send me these jokes. I've got to tell them. Thank you. Thank you, all on the cards, all sorts of things. What did the pirate say when he turned 80? Aye, matey. Aye, matey. Oh. I think actually that one reads better than it does being spoken out. So records are amazing, aren't they? And when you bought an LP, the one thing I feel a bit strange because if I hear a song, if somebody says, "Oh, what song would you play?" Oh, Bob, you're a natural woman. I think, oh, right, I'm going to get that. And within sort of 5 seconds, I've downloaded it, and it's on my and it's on my iPod or my phone, and I can listen to it. But of course, in the old days, you had to go and buy the LP or the 45, and of course, it was a great big thing, and you had to carry it home and maybe in an LP bag. I remember going to Valence's in Leeds, and you could listen there in a little booth listening to them. Maybe some of you been there, or maybe you remember listening in the booths. You got earphones. If you're there with your pal, you had an earphone each, and you were listening to the record you knew you were gonna buy. You knew you were gonna buy "Can't Buy Me Love" or "I'm a Believer" by the Monkees, or the Tremolos. Do you remember the Tremolos? Or "Yellow River," "Yellow River, Yellow River," "Lola" by the Kinks. When I bought the single "Lola," met her in a pub down in Old Soho where they drink champagne and it tastes just like cherry cola. L-O-T-L-O, la 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 la. And mine had a scratch in it there, and it stuck all the time. You had to move it on, and that made the scratch worse. You don't get that, thank goodness, on downloads, but you do. You used to occasionally, very occasionally, on CDs they would jam. And I remember when I was first ordained, long time ago now, and I used to have a disco, and I would take my disco around village halls in the parishes that I worked in and do free discos at night. I remember doing one in Staunton School, and that was the first time I did it on CDs. Prior to that, I'd been doing it on vinyl with a cassette backup. And I always had an ABBA song in a cassette player on the top, so I had a big desk, the light show in front of it, and suddenly we moved on to CDs, and someone built me a rack so I could have 3 CD players. Used to mix them all. Gosh, I was so trendy. So then I had to go and buy the CDs, buy all the Now CDs and things. And but I remember occasionally they would jump, boom, 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 and you'd have to stop and put something else on, and maybe thump the ABBA button. Or it was always Dancing Queen because it was good. It was a great floor filler. Talking of floor fillers, it was a nightmare actually, because when I did these discos, and they were great fun, I really enjoyed doing them. I got quite a reputation as I think it was the Rocking Rev, I think that's what they called me. And some of you were there, some of you remember. And somebody gave me a bubble machine. I maybe told you this before. Someone gave me a bubble machine, and you could press the button and it would push bubbles out. And of course, kids would jump up and try and catch them. It was such good fun. It was so cool. Except, of course, the bubbles, it was made out of fairy liquid type of stuff. And it was slippy, and of course the bubbles then all fell on the floor, so you ended up with this terrible issue with kids crashing all over the floor and adults, and it was like an ice rink. You had to stop and get everything mopped up, and health and safety and things. Oh, nightmare. But interesting, some of the songs. I used to play Shine Jesus Shine. I had a rock version of Shine Jesus Shine, and I would stick it on and people would dance to it. Don't tell me evangelism has to be boring. But before that, by the way, I used to be a wrestler. And quite often I'd get a guy like Johnny Quango in. Do you remember Johnny Quango? Polished his head before he did the headbutt. Gosh, and Giant Haystacks and Big Daddy. All those people that were on was it BBC or ITV on a Saturday afternoon? Gosh, I'm dancing all over the place today. This is nothing like the script I had planned. Well, of course, I don't really have a script. I just have some ideas. So I used to be a wrestler, and I'd get someone like Johnny Quango in a headlock. Then I'd whip out a pen, and I'd write my name on his forehead. And that was known as my signature move. I was very famous for that. Very famous. So records are incredible, aren't they? Sugar, Sugar by the Archers. The Seekers, I'll Never Find Another You. Great music, great songs. All variations. Brown Sugar, do-do-do-do, brown sugar, do-do-do. Stones were just incredible. And when I do my radio shows, of course, it's often that older type of music that I play. And people are amazed. Sorry, I'm just looking down because I've just closed my clock by mistake. There we are. Not looking at anything else. But interesting stuff. So what records were important to you? I think I had my first kiss to Sugar Sugar. Sugar do 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 do, hey honey honey do 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 do, by the Archies. Not the Golden Arches. Oh, I've been watching Macmillions on Sky Documentaries. Oh, just finished part 4. Oh, it's scary. It's very scary, but it's exciting stuff. So I commend that to you if you've got a few spare moments and like me, no life. So we're looking forward to opening the church. So I'll just go back to the records. So if you've got records that you think are really special, then maybe pop me an email. Let me know. Let me know what records are important to you. I once bought an album called Odessa by the Bee Gees, and I wish I'd still got it because the cover was like velvet, red velvet. It wasn't the Bee Gees as we sort of know it, and it wasn't that sort of Bee Gees. It was very different Bee Gees music. But I remember having that Sgt. Pepper. And my favourite album, the Beatles' Double White. I think if I could only take one album away, Frank Zappa, Hot Rats, Hocus Pocus by Focus from the Moving Waves album. No, I think probably the Beatles' Double White album. There's a remastered version, you can get it on YouTube. But the original, Dear Prudence, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, Birthday, Back in the USSR, Revolution number 1, Revolution number 9. I'm doing these off the top of my head, and my brain's like a helter-skelter. So what albums, what records are important to you? What songs do you like? I love a bit of Avicii as well. That's always good stuff. Yeah, and it was awful when he died. And La La Land, yeah. I mix Avicii and La La Land together. I've got a friend who gets really cross about that. Oh, God, you hate it. Dear, oh dear. But what a mixture. And that's what's great about music, isn't it? And I haven't gone down the classical route, which is my other great love. I suppose, in a way, a song that would sum everything up for me is John Miles and music, where it goes from heavy rock to orchestral. I mean, it's a real maelstrom. If you haven't listened to that for a long time, have a listen to it. Right. Gosh, that's got through Monday night. I was going to do the poem Matilda this evening, but I'll leave that for another night. That's the beauty of BOBCAST, but the downside, I think, of lockdown, because there'll always be another night. There'll always be another night. Don't know what song that was. I think that could be a make-up. Right, you'll notice the hair's still swept back. We're going to go on the swept back look for a little bit. I've decided, and there we are. So, take care of yourselves this evening, and praying for you if you need some prayers. It's all right not to feel good, by the way. It's all right to feel a bit down. It's all right to feel good as well, and to celebrate it. And somebody put a wonderful thing on a Facebook comment recently. They just said, hey, so-and-so, remember there's people at the end of a lot of these comments who are trying their best. And I think that's an important thing to remember. It's dead easy to be critical, isn't it? Dead easy. I must tell you a story about that and me in the supermarket with my son one day, but I haven't really got time just now. But the bottom line was, I was there in the supermarket. He was screaming. A lady behind me said, good grief, that child, that's ridiculous the way that child's being looked after. So I picked him up and said, if you're so good, you have a go. Everybody clapped. That was in Waitrose and Bracknell. It's a true story. And there we are. Okay, right. So let's just be quiet for a moment, shall we? I've prattled for 14 minutes. Watch thou, dear Lord, with those who wake or watch or weep tonight, and give your angels charge over those who sleep. Tend your sick ones, Lord Christ. Rest your weary ones and bless your dying ones. Soothe your suffering ones, pity your afflicted ones, and shield your joyous ones, all for your love's sake. Amen. This afternoon I was really excited. I bought myself a new blindfold. I just can't see myself wearing it.